How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be continuing my Sharks of Summer series. Sharks of Summer is a series I do around here where once a week, at least once, during the summer, I take a look at a shark movie. And today, we're going to be looking at Blind Waters. This is from 2023. It's a Tubi original put out by the Asylum. Tubi and the Asylum have worked together a few times on shark movies. I think they did a Swim, which is the only one on physical media. They also would do Shark Side of the Moon, which I hope to get to pretty soon. Anyway, this movie is directed and written by Anthony C. Ferrante, who is responsible for the Sharknado films. He directed all of those. The movie also stars Meghan Carrasquillo, who we recently saw on this channel when we watched the movie Shark Waters. So that's cool. Another Asylum shark movie, also with the word Waters in the title. This movie also stars Noah Sigler and Francesco Angelini. Now, the thing with this movie is there's a lot of Asylum shark movies that are pretty bad. Just mindless talking, padding, a little pinch of bad CGI sharks. There's a lot of them that are kind of boring. And the thing is, this movie is better than that. It's halfway decent for an Asylum shark movie. But it is nowhere near Sharknado. And that's the thing, is you tell me that this is the guy that made Sharknado inarguably the best of the Asylum shark movies, and actually probably the best of the Asylum movies overall. That is such a high bar. And you'd expect it to be a big, crazy, over-the-top movie. You expect a ton of humor and ridiculous moments. And you don't really get that here. Instead, it's a very low-key, restrained script, you know? You would expect something wild, but it's really, really not. I mean, the characters are, like, the main couple's lovey-dovey. There's a bit of life there, and the movie does move along at a steady enough clip, but for the most part, it is super predictable and doesn't really have anything interesting going for it. Nothing special, nothing surprising. I mean, take a look at why it's called Blind Waters. That's because in the beginning of this movie, the main character will hit her head on the boat when the shark rams it, and she'll experience vision loss. Now, she's not 100% blind, she can still see shapes. We see her point of view and it's basically an out-of-focus camera. So she's not 100% blind because that would make the movie way too hard to write. But it's not a tight thriller though. Like when you look at other sensory deprivation movies, like in Mike Flanagan's Hush where you couldn't hear, or in John Krasinski's Quiet Place where you couldn't talk, those were usually really tight thrillers, but here, it almost seems like it's an afterthought. Yeah, she'll say, you know, this is harder for me because I have limited vision, and actually at one point, the guy just says, well, look harder. That's great writing there, but there's nothing super clever, no clever ways to work around this, you know, like, when you do a sensory deprivation thriller, it should be really well thought out and really interesting, but here it almost seems like an afterthought and it's almost forgotten about at times, and there's nothing interesting. Like, there's even this other subplot with this bad guy that the characters don't know is a bad guy, but they don't even do anything really clever with that. Again, nothing special or interesting. It's shocking how formulaic and generic the plot is, and you would expect, you know, this is Sharknado guy, you'd expect something crazy, but instead, it's just a so-so shark movie, and it has all the tropes too, all the bad shark movie tropes, you know. They're safe on an island, but the island is sinking. Of course the island's sinking. Or, we need to come up with a plan. Let's come up with the most ridiculous and implausible plans we can think of. At one point, it's just the one girl on the island, and she's trying to pull in a whole sunken ship by herself with this little IKEA rope. And I'm like, can we not write better? Can we not come up with something more clever, and instead we just have to do whatever pops into our head, even if it doesn't really make much sense? Overall, this one is not the worst of the Asylum films, but it's definitely one of the bigger letdowns, and I really wish that this movie was either funny or clever or did something interesting and unexpected. But overall, it's just a B-side that moves along at a steady enough pace, and it's not memorable or anything. So watch it if you want to. It's not the worst thing ever, but I can't really give it a strong recommendation, and with the Sharknado guy here, I really wish I could have. I guess in order to talk about the plot more, let's do a bit of analysis. I'm gonna start talking about some plot points and do a bit of a breakdown and analyze a few things. I'll be avoiding the end and I'll be avoiding major spoilers, but let's go ahead and do a bit of a deeper dive. We open up with some partying characters on a boat. A few of them jump off the bow of the boat. A shark's going to eat them, when a bigger shark will come and eat that shark, which you think, okay, that's a clever opening. But actually, if you've seen shark movies, I've seen this done a bunch of times, and somehow it's turned into an old trope already. Anyway, though, after that, we then jump to our main characters. They're partying on the island, and we find out that they're a couple. The girl will repeatedly get text from work, even though she's on vacation. And you think, okay, this is going to be the large driving force of her character, is she's going to be addicted to work and learn that she needs to appreciate her life. No, she actually really already appreciates this vacation, and this whole setup will just turn into her leaving her phone at the hotel because she's tired of it, and then that element of her character is just forgotten, so cool. The boyfriend does plan on proposing, so there is a bit of lovey-dovey moments there, and there is a bit of life and character, knowing that this is what he's planning to do and how they're, probably going to get married, so isn't that sweet? Well, we then get this whole side tangent where they're late for their boat, and this family who wants to go fishing and didn't plan at all tries to outbid them and steal their boat. A bunch of jerks right there. And this other captain goes, hey, if you offer me that price you were offering them, you can come on my boat. But we see that he's not really the captain, and he's actually killed the real captain and is just going on the run and taking this family with him for some reason. And then they're out on the water fishing when a shark will eat the family off the back of the boat. We get the classic shark movie, oh, better fall in the water so the shark can get us. And then the guy, in an example of stupid shark movie plans, goes, I better get off this boat because the shark's attacking it, because the shark knows how many people are on the boat and will definitely sink the boat just because it's doing it anyway. He gets on a little dinghy, which would be much more easy for the shark to eat him in, but he just gets away because we'll need him for later. And then we forget about him. Like, the plot structure for this villain is so bad. We go on this random tangent, but it is interesting because all of a sudden we're throwing in murder, but when he sails off in his dinghy, we're not gonna see him again until the last act of the film. There's also this bit where earlier in the movie when the main couple are partying, someone tries to steal the girl's purse, but she scratches him to ward him away, scratches him on the forearm, and this guy, the only evil character in the movie, just so also happens to be the only character wearing long sleeve shirts? Are you gonna tell me that the bad guy is secretly the bad guy? And it's not like she even really needed this information because she finds out in a completely other way. I don't know what the setup was here, but you think it's gonna be something clever, and again, builds to next to nothing. Whatever though. The couple does eventually get to their boat, and they will of course go out and go scuba diving when all of a sudden the shark shows up, and they of course get back on their boat, but before they can get away, the shark starts ramming it, she falls over, hits her head, gets that vision impairment, and then the shark will topple their boat. Well, props to the Asylum to actually have the budget to turn a yacht over. That's something. But, you know, props to that. But also, what's the deal with this shark? Like, we made a big deal like it's the special shark that ate another shark in the beginning, and now it's like taking out whole boats. But that's just it. You know, like, they never explain why this is the one aggressive shark, why this shark is so big and bad. They even say they haven't had a shark attack in this area in 15 years. Why? Why? This is the shark. It's the star of your movie. What's its motivation? Why? Why is this shark different? We don't know. It's just the one big bad shark. And from there, we get mindless plodding along. Again, stupid plans, and, you know, they're safe, but then, of course, whatever they're on is just going to sink all of a sudden. And eventually, of course, they will cross paths with that villain again, but it doesn't lead to anything interesting or clever. And that's really the whole thing is not interesting or clever. And it moved along okay enough. Some of the acting was okay enough. It's just there's nothing here, and that's really sad. You know, it's the shell of something that could have been interesting, but there's nothing inside of it. And overall, it's not the Asylum's worst movie. It's totally watchable, but ultimately disappointing, and I do wish it was better. But it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the Megalodon series, and I guess we can be thankful for that. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Asylum Shark Movies playlist, and I've actually almost covered all of them. Can't believe that. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.